Dani Olmo drifts inside, takes it on the half turn, and instead of trying to make something happen himself, he lays it straight back to Pedro Porro. One touch, no fuss, and Porro finishes it. Spain go 2-0 up against France, and they're into the World Cup final. That's the only assist you'll find next to Dani Olmo's name all tournament. Everything else he's done doesn't show up in the goals and assist column at all. So why is that? Let's talk about him. Who is Dani Olmo? Dani Olmo came through La Masia and left as a teenager for Dinamo Zagreb. He built his name properly in RB Leipzig and then came home to Barcelona in the summer of 2024. 27 years old now, 48 caps and 12 goals for Spain before a ball was even kicked at the World Cup. But why didn't we see him do more? Well, under Luis de la Fuente, Olmo isn't the point of attack, he's the connector. And watch him here against Uruguay. The double pivot doesn't have a forward option, so Olmo drops off to offer one. We see him connect further forward too, as evidenced in the Spain goal against France, and also here against Argentina as he plays in Lamine Yamal. A few phases later in the same game, he's doing the exact opposite, bursting beyond the ball into space, dragging the defender away and darting into open space to receive Pau Cubarsi's ball. He's allowing himself to be the problem solver for Luis de la Fuente's attack, either to beat a press or to pick apart a low block. And if we look at his stats and his production, that's not nothing. It's the second highest big chances created before Cucurella, but it's hidden underneath the surface. He ranks 6th also in the squad for key passes, but 2nd for dribbles behind Yamal. He's doing the finding and running, so somebody else can be found instead. And against Portugal specifically, he creates 2 chances but gets subbed off 5 minutes before Mikel Merino scores the winner. Here, one chance from Olmo from a header that goes wide, and then another with a through ball here to Oyarzabal. But almost night ends before the goal does. I mean, that's the pattern whole tournament. 0 goals and 1 assist. But the stat line actually hides more than it shows. Now let's talk about his time at Barcelona. Hansi Flick doesn't use him as a connector only. He uses him further forward as a false 9, alternating in and out of position with Fermin Lopez. He's not creating space for someone else to be the point of attack. He is the point of attack in Barcelona. Now let's look at the footage. The Copa del Rey footage against Betis is the clearest example. His movement in the central role dragged defenders around and directly opened space for Rafinha, allowing him to pass to Gavi for the first goal. So he's still a connective piece here. Barcelona just asked him to connect from further forward. And here against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League quarterfinal, you can clearly see his full role and package. Here he is part of the high pressure and Hansi Flick system to force the turnover from Atleti. And then in this clip, Olmo is playing up front alongside Lewandowski when Barcelona do have the ball. In this other clip, he also makes a run in behind the defense as Atleti press up high. And due to these higher positions, he's able to connect as well. And here, he slides the ball into Ferran Torres to equalize the aggregate at that time into 2-2. So, if we look at the numbers, 33 league appearances this season, 7 goals, 8 assists, and 15 direct contributions in a title-winning season. His underlying numbers back it up too, with 9.29 on expected penalty goals, a 92nd percentile in La Liga, and a perfect record from the penalty spot. So he scores and assists more because he's utilized in the false 9 role over a larger sample size too. So notice this, almost not usually the player that teams built their system around at either Barca or Spain, but he's a great connecting piece. And he hasn't gone quiet at this World Cup. Is that Spain and Barcelona are asking him to do 2 different jobs. And one of them is asking him to play further forward, which shows up in goals and assists. At Barcelona, he's at the point of the attacking spear, while at Spain, he's the problem solver and lock picker for Luis de la Fuente. So if you look at these charts specifically, this highlights the differences in Olmo's output. A higher goal threat numbers and positional freedom under Flick, but more defensive work and ball carrying under Luis de la Fuente, which shows exactly the different output he's produced in different positions for club and for country. Now back to the original frame. That pass back to Porro was almost only end product in the World Cup, but it doesn't mean that he lacks end product. It was the job, and Spain was much more than just Dani Olmo himself, and he'll take that connected role at a World Cup for a Spanish team who are now World Cup champions in 2026. That's Dani Olmo. 2 different systems but the same player, and a stat line that tells you only half the story. That is all for the breakdown. I'm the Third Runner. Like and subscribe for more hidden player breakdowns.